Welcome here to the campus of Holy Cross College here in beautiful Notre Dame, Indiana, right here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. As we come to you just across from McKenna Arena, right here inside the File Center here for more Holy Cross College athletics. As for today, we bring to you the Bob Pastoor Show. My name is Tanner Camp. I'm very blessed to get to do a majority of the men's and women's soccer matches, as well as men's and women's basketball matches. And great as always to be here with Dr. Bob Pastoor, the Director of Athletics here at Holy Cross College. And Bob, obviously we're well in full swing. Obviously, a lot of great things happening on this campus. And we'll talk about the teams in just a little bit, but obviously now we're in full swing. We see the field, it's getting its use. We've seen the lights on a number of times. We've seen the scoreboard in use. It's so great when I go out there for games to see that in full swing, see the big crowds. Just talk a little bit about now that we're fully in as basketball is coming up here very soon. It's got to be really great to see that these facilities are getting its max capacity use.
Well, they're getting its max capacity use, and we're having to learn a few things, especially with the evening games with soccer, like gloves, which we never used to worry about. But no, and the teams are performing extremely well. Both men's and women's soccer are doing very well, and we're getting ready to get into a full swing with basketball very soon. And tennis, that Eric is the coach of men's and women's tennis, has done well, both regionally and going to the nationals with some of the players. So we're moving along. Golf is still this is not really a season for them. They just do their work and then they get into the main season in the spring. Mm-hmm. So, but everything is moving along very nicely. And the athletic field, as you referred to it, Saints Field, certainly the improvements that have been made there have been great. And it shows, and people are very impressed when they see it. The next step for us is to raise some money in order to get the turf put on. That's the second phase of this program. So we're very excited.
Well, and one of the things that I really like, and you mentioned success, and Duma and Omar, they've done a magnificent job at the time of this recording. They're both currently tied for first in their respected standings. They're just playing a good brand of soccer. And I think one of the other things I really love with these teams, and I really use that term, are just the student athletes. I mean, I talk to, and you even look at for other teams for men's basketball, you look at Jaden Sanders, who's helped out a lot. We've seen R.S. Dooney for men's basketball. He's helped out. We've seen a number of the other teams, whether it's women's soccer supporting the men or vice versa, and even a number of the women's basketball players who are in support. So just talk a little bit about that great interaction with the student athletes, because it's one thing to be successful, but they are just a great representative of your college, and that is above anything else a great thing to have for your athletic department.
Yeah, one of the emphasis is for our coaches is to develop those teams, team communities, and Omar and Duma certainly have done a terrific job with that. Eric has done a great job with tennis. I eat lunch on campus in the dining room every day, and I see them all sitting together and eating together. And now I'm beginning to see both basketball and soccer players sitting together. And there is a sense of athletic community here, and they do support one another. They hang out with each other after the games and all of those kinds of things. So it's exactly what you want. It's exactly what you want.
Now, and you already mentioned perfectly, as our special guest here for your show today, Eric Mahone, the tennis coach here at Holy Cross. And when you talk about true success, Bob, I don't think there'd be anyone hard-pressed outside of what he's done in regards to just bringing this great international community and local flavor as well here in the area. And so when we talk about success right here, you may be talking to arguably the best and most successful coach right now here in this Holy Cross program.
Without a doubt. And, I think this is year 7 for you, Eric? I think 6 or 7?
8.
8?
Wow. Yeah.
And he inherited a struggling program, I guess, if I could call it that. That would be the best thing. But one of Eric's strengths is finding the talent, both nationally as well as internationally, and asking them to be part of the Holy Cross community and to buy into the mission of the institution and to buy into his philosophy of tennis. And he has been remarkably successful, especially with, I think, winning the last 3 CCAC tournament championships, and then this past couple of weeks ago, 2 of his players won the ITA regional championship, and therefore going on to the nationals. And they are really good people as well. And I think the key to our success, not only in tennis but in the other sports, is the fact of the kind of individuals that they recruit to be part of this community. And it does make a huge difference. And they're all good academic scholars. And we have been recognized once again for the all of our teams being recognized as being in the top tier of the NAIA scholarship. So,
well, Coach, I always love getting the chance to talk. I know we don't do your games, but whenever it's the Holy Cross College Athletics Banquet or even at some of the other sporting events, I love getting the chance to see you around it. And as Bob mentioned with it, just talk a little bit. I know the recruiting process is big for you. You get the chance to travel a lot. You get the chance to meet a lot of different families and a lot of different people. So just talk a little bit about that recruiting process. And obviously that formula has worked because you guys have truly proven to be one of the top tier tennis programs, men and women, in regards to the entire country.
Yeah, so it's obviously it's the lifeblood of our program, right? So it's how do I find talent wherever it is. Talk you through a typical day just today. So at 1 o'clock, I have a call with a young man from India, and then 8 o'clock, I'll be on the phone with a young man from Columbus, Ohio, right? So it's the best way for us to find the players that we want, and quite frankly, the students we want at Holy Cross, right? And for me, especially since tennis is such an international sport, right? It's played everywhere. So we are trying to find the best students, the best tennis players, and with the best character, and that combination. And I just look at it as like I can't leave any stone unturned. So if you're in Malaysia, we'll find you if you're good, and you fit our mold, right? So, yeah.
And Eric, what I like, and I think Bob touched on this perfectly. I know he's got some thoughts for you as well, but it leads to that theme, like I asked him with my second question of, these are just good people. I mean, I remember talking to Perry a number of times, and a number of the other student athletes when they were at the basketball games or when they were just around the campus and staying involved, because that's the one thing that I know that Dr. Marco Clark and that Bob here are trying to do. They're trying to build a good community around this area, and certainly with what Perry's having success now over at Notre Dame. Just talk a little bit about when these students come on campus, they feel welcome, not just by the tennis team, but just the entire athletic department and the entire community. That's got to be another really good selling point for you, for these athletes.
Yeah, it has, and they have been welcomed, right? So there's no doubt, and our college community, as a Catholic institution, is absolutely an institution that is welcoming to everyone, right? And so I always feel really comfortable recruiting players of any different race, nationality, religion, ethnicity, whatever, right, to come to our school because I know they're going to be safe in the Notre Dame, Holy Cross, St. Mary's community, right? And then in terms of just like what are we looking for? I mean, maybe to the first part of your question about like when we're looking at the character of our kids, a lot of it's selfish, right? So it's like I know the better the character my players have, the better my teams will perform, period. I know, quite frankly, the better the character my players have, my life becomes a lot less stressful, right? So those are both two really great things in terms of that. And then the side benefit or the ancillary benefit is it's great for our community. We always want to be a net positive for Holy Cross. We never want to be a drain. Either tennis program, men's or women's. So.
Maybe you could talk a little bit, Eric, about the players that you have on the team this year, both men's and women's, where they're from.
Sure.
So that people begin to understand the international scope of this.
Yeah. So let me see. I'll start. Why don't I start with our women's team, right? So we have two seniors. One young lady, Victoria Civedes. She's from Cyprus. She's our senior captain, our number one player. Right now playing number 2 for us is another senior, also captain, Leah Gonzalez. She's from London, England. So that's our top 2 players to start. And then as we kind of move down, juniors, we have Jamison Jeffrey, who's from the Indianapolis area. Let's see, we have Nicole Martinez, who's from Colombia. Sofia Roca, she's from Brazil, but now her family lives in Portugal. They moved there. Let's see, Emery Porter, who's from just down the road. She's from Bremen and went to Northwood High School as well. I'm trying to think whom I missed. Oh, yeah, and we have Anna Vanderhyde, who's from Grand Rapids area. So hopefully I didn't miss anyone. So if I did, I apologize. So we're from all over, right? So locally, we have several American girls that are all Michigan or Indiana, and then obviously we have women from everywhere. And on the men's side, it gets. So we have Oscar. So I'll speak to him first. So Oscar's right now is our number one player. Just won the regional. He's from Hong Kong, but also resides in London with his family there. He just won the regional along with Victoria. He'll be competing for the national championship in the 16-player field this week. Let's see, we have Luca McManus, who's also from England. He'll be playing with Oscar in doubles in the same tournament, in the 16-team tournament. And then as we move down, we have Matt Jezik, who's from Chicago, Illinois. Calvin Gomai, who's from India. Let's see, who else do we have? Grant Kirscher, he's from Michigan as well. He's from kind of the Detroit area. And Thomas Frieson's from British Columbia, so Canada. Gosh, it just keeps going. Who am I missing? Oh, I can't forget. One of our captains, Hugh O'Sullivan, who's from Cork, Ireland. And by the way, just real quick, Hugh was able to play for the first time in 4 years since shattering his leg. He was one of the top recruits in the country. He was Irish national champion when he came here. He's literally sat here, been arguably the best student on our campus for the last 3 years, and now finally his injury's healed, and he got back in the lineup, which was really, really a cool thing for our whole community to see. So,
and Coach, and we look at, and I mentioned a little bit about, Perry going to Notre Dame.
Sure.
He's been so successful there. And obviously, it's a great story, but it's more important because you want your student athletes to achieve success when they're done in their respected field, whether they continue to play tennis, whether they go on to the next phase of their life. And so for Perry to have that type of success, just talk a little bit about what that means to your program and what it means just for him. I mean, you can tell, his banner's raising, inside a McKenna Arena, and that's just got to be a great thing that he's able to achieve this success and then continue that over at Notre Dame and be one of the top tennis players, it feels like, in the entire country.
Yeah, and honestly, with Perry, right, so the tennis, did his tennis get, honestly, arguably much better? No. When he was with us, he was already one of the best players in the country at any level. Where Perry really grew was in his character over, and we're still working on it. I mean, I'm still talking to Perry a couple days a week, and we're still like when these young men, they come here and they're not much more than boys, right? And so it's how do we take them to a place where they're men and they can be absolutely self-sufficient? And Perry's, the leaps he made in 4 years are, they weren't always easy, but they were really good. And now he's having just a ton of success. And the feedback I'm getting from the Notre Dame coaches is phenomenal. So we're really really happy and we're really hopeful that he's not the first one of our players that'll be playing for Notre Dame in grad school. We're really hopeful that we're going to have maybe one player a year going forward. So,
Tanner, maybe I can just interject here because not only is Perry there, Martin Van Toon, who played soccer here last year, is on the Notre Dame soccer team. Jordan Smith now, who played basketball for us, is now playing for the women. And then Isaac is up at the University of Albany. So 4 of our athletes from last year have found some success in their 5th or COVID year, whatever it might have been. But I think the other thing that I want to really emphasize is that the academic program that we've got at Holy Cross and the Pathways program that we have in place allows not just athletes but any students who perform well academically here to move on to classes and programs at Notre Dame, as well as AT-SIL in Texas, as well as Incarnate Word in San Antonio. These are all spots that are waiting for Holy Cross graduates, and that's a real plus. If students want to know what they can do after they graduate, you do well, you have these opportunities available to you at the University of Notre Dame and the other schools.
Well, and that's a perfect piggyback, and I was about to actually tie into that perfectly. So just, Bob, talk a little bit again. I know when the goal is to win and win championships and bring success and continue to bring this, still, when you think about it, young athletic department program here at Holy Cross to success. But talk a little bit when you hear about about Jordan, and again, congratulations, or Martin, and he still comes and visits the games. I know I've talked to Jordan, and she plans on still coming to visit the games. We're hearing about Perry. Just talk a little bit about that great relationship with Notre Dame. I know the Gateway program. We've had many students. I know Madeline Agee last year in her freshman year, arguably the best keeper in that conference, and now she's over playing for the Fighting Irish. Just talk about that relationship where you want to see success, but it's worked really well, and it really, by the end of the day, the championships, and I know Coach Gallows told me this before, the real championships are what these young men and women do 4 years down the road when they become great husbands, great wives, great workers, great the case. So talk a little bit about that great relationship. I mean, over the last couple of years, we've seen so much success outside of just the wins and losses.
Yeah, and I think that it speaks to the volume of the Holy Cross education that they're getting here, that the programs are solid academic programs. Our athletes do very, very, very well academically as an entity. Last year, almost 85% of our students received a 3.0 or better in their academics, 85% of our student athletes. We're hoping to move that up. I mean, that's the continual goal. But it also it's a testament to the coaches' ability to recruit the right kind of players, recruit the players that will do academically well here and that will have an opportunity to go to the Mendoza School of Business in some of the slots that we've got available to ourselves there. And so it's a wonderful marriage between the two schools. The other thing that makes that work is the relationship that our coaches have with the coaches at Notre Dame. Because if that wasn't there, we could be anybody and it wouldn't make any difference. But the fact that these coaches talk to one another and talk about their players and talk about their coaching needs, what Notre Dame needs, and we're able to fill those needs. So it's a perfect marriage. I've worked at 7 other institutions and I've never seen it like this. So that's a real plus, and it's a pleasure to support these students. And as you said earlier, our players are just really good people, and so it's a pleasure.
So Eric, one thing that I want to, and I know we're, looking ahead or looking back, and I've been blessed to MC the athletics banquet the last couple of years, and every time it's time, because what I really love is they have each coach recap their season, and obviously it's always interesting because you still, most of the time, have some players and teams that are still competing by that point, but every time you go up there and you're representing for 2 teams, I can just tell that this is not just something because you're achieving success or you're this high prolific coach. You're doing this because you genuinely care about these athletes, and that just seems adamant to me every time I hear you talk. So just speak a little bit about the relationships that you build with these student athletes, and making sure that you're doing this not just because of you want to see the school or see the wins from your department, but you want to make sure that these athletes are students first, and they're getting the best experience. And again, for some who are maybe traveling from a completely different part of the world, I mean, this is a real opportunity that they may not get anywhere else.
Yeah, no. First of all, I think I'm no different probably than every coach, right? So if none of us really care about the wins. We definitely beat ourselves up on the losses, and then, but why we do this is for that. Because if you didn't do this, it would get old really quick, right? If you didn't do that, you'd do it for the players on our teams. And then, I definitely have a little different situation with my players coming from so far away. I mean, I feel like I get every fall starts. I have 16 new children to go along with the 2 that I have at home, right? And I know my wife definitely feels like I have 16 extra children. But I mean, it's my job is to guide them to adulthood. I'm the last 5 yards, right? Their parents did the first 95, and then I've got to take them over the line, right? And when they send them to me, especially from that far away, right, where they're not going home, they're not home on weekends, things like that, then there's definitely like extra responsibility that goes with that, because I'm asking these parents to trust me, right, and with their children. So I definitely feel that weight every day. And which is another reason why we definitely want to find the highest character students we can, right? Because that weight can get pretty heavy if we're having difficulties. So I mean that's where I'm at with that. But there's no doubt. I mean it's why myself and every coach that's probably ever coached does this, right?
Over 20 international students at Holy Cross are athletes, and so it does put more of an emphasis, and it puts more of a pressure on the coaches to do their job to the best, because they've now invited these international players into the community of those teams. And it's also good to see that our American players welcome these players into their arms and take care of them. They'll take them shopping. They'll do all of these kinds of things that ordinarily they wouldn't have to worry about. And so it's not only the coach, but it's also the players. And we do a really good job of welcoming these students. I worked at an institution once that sent 140 Chinese students to our school, and it always amazed me that these players or these students were 17, 18 years old, and these parents from China are sending them thousands of miles away, never to see them again for the first year. And it always amazed me that the parents were willing to do that, to give these students a chance, and then that these students get acclimated as well. We don't have those kind of numbers here, so we depend on the teams to do those kinds of things. It just makes me think about Calvin, a tennis player from India, who went to a tennis camp school in India when he was 10 years old. Hasn't been home since. Wow. And he came to the United States and attended the junior college in Texas before coming to our place. And he's an RA this year. He's major in campus ministry. He's just a really good individual. Yeah. And I know he's thinking now what he wants to do when he graduates in May. But now he's talking about doing a service work for a year somewhere, so he's still trying to figure out what he's going to do. But he's a tremendous young man.
And Coach, to give you a wrap up, then Bob, we'll close things out here. But obviously, always a lot of expectations. The goal is to always get back to that national championships, not just from your individual players, but as a team. And you've achieved that. Had a nice upset last year, and so. What are the goals this year? I mean, is it pretty much the same? Does it really ever change? I know you've set a real high standard, but what are the goals throughout the rest of this calendar year here for the Saints?
Yeah, so I obviously just starting off, right, is we have these two individual national championships coming up, and the goal is to hopefully somebody can make a run at one of those.
Put some more banners on
to start. That's right.
Yeah,
and then we're really excited about in February We're the host school for the national indoor, which is so there's 2 team national championships in tennis. We're extremely excited about that. We're built for that. It'll be us and then the top 7 teams. So it's the top 8 teams in the country. Men and women, we're playing in that. So we're really excited about that. And then when it comes to Alabama at the end for the NAI national championship, where the goal every year is to do better than the previous, and I think maybe last year was the quarterfinals, right? So let's try to do a little bit better than that. We'll see where we go.
I like that mindset. Then, so Bob, as we get ready to wrap things up here, again, the basketball season's getting ready, and it's going to be very crazy during that late October, early November with the success for the soccer teams. But I tell you what, there's a lot of other things. I know Dr. Clark, he's also hosting those Friday lecture series, which I know that's a really, really important part. Just talk a little bit about just a couple of other big things that are on the horizon, whether for the athletics or just Holy Cross. Again, there's always so much great stuff happening here at this great campus here at Holy Cross College.
Well, the Fowl Center has been transformed the last 2 Fridays into a major giving opportunities. So we are still looking for donors, not only to finish the athletic field, which we will probably need about another $5 million to do the field and the concession stand and the press box and the bleachers and all of that. Then that will be done. But we're also looking. I mean, as you come by the building, you'll see that there's a new residence hall going up. That is scheduled to be completed next summer and be filled by next fall. And the next project for the president is a student union building. That'll be the next project. And then the following 2 projects will be 2 more residence halls as we try to get up to the 850 students that he's put out as a goal for us to reach. It's a lofty goal, especially in today's world in higher education. but it is a doable goal, and certainly everybody here is working to help him get that goal. So, yeah, there's a lot going on.
Well, Eric, my friend, as always, every chance I get to see you, I'm always glad to see the success you have. I'll be sure to tell Coach Reardon, as I just found out you two are great friends, so I'll be sure to let him know. But, Coach, as always, my friend, wishing you and your teams nothing but the best.
It's good to see you.
And, Bob, as always, looking forward every time we get the chance, so always a pleasure here.
We'll see you.
Great as always to be here on the campus of Holy Cross College. And don't forget, every single men's and women's soccer match and every men's and women's home basketball game you can find right here on our website at rrsn.com. And check out all of our other content on our Regional Radio Sports Network YouTube channel. So once again, that's going to do it here for the Bob Pastoor Show from here at Holy Cross College. So for Eric Mahone, as well as for Bob Pastoor, my name is Tanner Camp. Thanks so much for joining us from here, just outside of McKenna Arena, inside the File Center, here on the campus of Holy Cross College.